Hello everybody, we are doing some roller tier list matchups thingy-majig. So let's get cracking. Pardon me. So brushes, splooshes, dapples and carbons. They're all pretty easy to outrange, and you don't really need to use a vertical on them. You can literally just use a horizontal and that is game. You just outrange them, outspace them, you do more damage than them from a further distance. Easy. It should be easy. You don't really see them that much anyway, apart from brushes a little bit and some carbons that are kind of rare, but that's it really. Now we go to the good, where it's not about what you do with your flicks, it's more about how you approach them with the charges. It's quite easy to shark on them, it's quite easy to rush them as well sometimes, but if they know you're there then it's not going to be easy for you. And so with minis, they don't do a lot of damage, so you should be able to deal with them fine. You should be able to get out of stuff fine. I'm talking about Splat Roller mostly, the one with curling bomb, because when you get stuck you can just use a curling bomb and just run away. Same with NSAP. They don't really do much damage, but they can sometimes outrange you, but at the same time you should be able to deal with them by able to just get one decent vertical hit. And with a horizontal. Luna's a bit harder, because they'll be sharking on you as well, but you should most likely win with just by your range really, like mostly horizontal. Same with Splash with the NSAP. They're not very hard to kill unless they sort of try and outrange you, but they just don't do the same damage input as you. And with dollies as well, you can just pretty much you do more damage with them, and it's not hard to hit them because you have so much spread. It's like you're always guaranteed to get 2 flicks on them at least. Same with Tetras. It just depends how depends how predictable they are, or because if they're like being really unpredictable, then yeah, it can be quite hard, but at the same time it's not really. It also depends if they have armor. I haven't really talked about that, but I'm not really thinking about that. I'm mostly thinking about when they just approach me just with their weapon and a bit of their sub. Same with heavies with charges. It's just quite easy to shark on them. It should be. Same with ballpoints and jets and H3s. Just all of them, because they're just so slow. Basically, the super fast weapons are meant to sort of counter the really slow weapons. That's how it should be done. And you just rush them as quick as possible, and if you can't, you can just get out of it most of the time. Use your surroundings. It's harder when you play like K-Roller and Kraken, because you don't have that movement with curling bomb. Pardon me, but you can make it work. You can. Depends what your comp is. And depends what map. But yeah. Right, now we're going to do 50-50, so when it gets a bit hard. Tents, you can sort of deal with them. You can just flick over them, or you can use your sub to like pressure them. But I mean, at the same time, you're not really meant to deal with them. But anyway, with Try, it's a bit hard because they have a much better horizontal, but you can still, if you like, they're not hard to hit, but you should be able to get your verticals, which are more important than horizontal. But what's more important here is you can one shot and they can't. But at the same time, if they get the approach first, then you're dead. So it's 50-50. With Squiffer, they have more chance of getting you because they can play more aggressive. That's why I put them a bit harder to go against than Charger, because Charger are just very slow and they don't really deal with sharking weapons. Unless they have like a special that helps them, or yeah, or just like an armor. But like yeah, not talking about that. We're talking about the weapon and sub. So a little bit of the sub. Clash, they don't do a lot of damage, but if they can like outrange you well, then it can be quite annoying that you won't be able to get out of it. But I think most of the time you should be fine. It's a bit 50-50 though. And then with auto brushes, they can be so annoying. But if you use your vertical well, you should be able to deal with them fine sometimes. But if they get you first, you're all dead. There's no way of getting out of it. Because they just have so much range and ridiculous hitbox. It's so frustrating sometimes. And then we go into the T-Tex and sort of short range shooters with the Gals, the long range shooter. Now the Gals, they're going to struggle at hitting you sometimes, but they will mostly try and outrange you, and so they've got a bit more time to deal with you. But yeah, anyway, with the short range shooters, you should be like, it's a bit of both. Like if you shotgun them, you should get them. If they shotgun you, they're gonna get you. But at the same time, if they mess up, then it's easy for them. It's easy for the roller to punish them. That's what makes rollers so punishing, going against slayers. But it can be 50. It's 50-50 still, because they can do the same thing pretty much. Apart from they need a lot more aim, and they need a lot more positioning, better positioning. Alright, so I've got bad and soft counter. We're going to go to soft counter in a bit. We're going to go on to bad. So this is when it gets really hard for roller. I put Splat Rollers on bad because you can sort of deal with them, but at the same time you really can't. You just got to pray that they don't have their shield up, or you get a lucky flick over them. You can be more likely to flick over them, but they're just so quick. Like you don't have enough time to get out of, or they're more likely going to kill you compared to Tent, because Tent they're a bit slow. Now Glugers, they're quite frustrating to go against because they just outrange you, and if you get stuck, you're just going to get punished. They're just going to laser you. Machine. Most of these weapons, they just all outrange you, and by the time you get there, it's so hard. It's way too hard to get there, unless you're like super shocking on them. They do not have a clue you're there. It's beatable. It can be beatable. That's why I put it on bad for rollers. So yeah, yeah, just like Dynamo. It's just basically Splat Roller, but more range, more chip damage. It's going to be harder to approach, especially when they're like really good at positioning. Yeah, it's going to be hard. And now we're going to go on soft counter. Yeah. Right, I put blasters there, the ones that are slightly more long range, because once they take a shot, it's the same with Dynamo. It might be a bit easier. It's a little bit easier. That's why I've not put it as a hard counter. That's why I've not really put any weapons as a hard counter, because there is still a bit of a chance of getting out of it. Yeah, so blasters. Maybe I'm not really entirely sure. It's just my opinion, really, with the distance. Because if they're like really slow, then yeah, you probably could sharken them. You probably could get away with them. But at the same time, if they get a good hit on you, you're pretty much dead. Because you just can't. You just get stuck and you're dead. I'm talking about dualies yet. Dualies and Nautilus are the most annoying. Can be really annoying to deal with. Because 1, they can outrange you. 2, they can just shred you. 3, they have a really annoying sub point sensor. I could say the same about Pro, but no one uses it. It's just a very frustrating weapon to go against, this roller, because it basically just covers what rollers should be doing, but even better, to be honest. It's so frustrating. Yeah, that's what Atomic kind of said to me, like with dollies and not like she really doesn't like dealing with them. But and I did put like the Brellas on like soft counter or worse than what I normally had it on. But now I've like put it up a bit more because it can be possible, but like it's so hard to deal with Brellas sometimes. But yeah, I think that's all I've got to say really. Yeah. Right, I hope you guys found this a bit useful, and I hope you treat rollers sensibly. No, I don't know. I think that's it really. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I will do some Carbaroon tier list next time. Until then, bye bye.